Spirit, give myself to the Spirit. Good morning. I give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. I give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. Give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. I give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. Take it up higher. Take it up higher. Take it up higher, 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 higher. Take it up higher. Take it up higher. Take it up higher, 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 higher. Give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. Give myself to the Spirit. I let the Spirit lead me home. Thank you.
It's your turn.
I invite you to take a couple of breaths and just close your eyes. This is a prayer from Myrtle Fillmore. So as we still ourselves, we know and we are grateful that God is in the midst of us, and God is substance. God in the midst of us is love. God in the midst of us is wisdom. So we let not our thoughts be given to lack, but let wisdom fill them with the substance and faith of God. We let not our heart be a center of resentment and fear and doubt. We are still, and we know that at this moment it is the altar of God, of love. Love so sure and unfailing, love so irresistible and magnetic, that it draws our supply to us from the great storehouse of the universe. So we trust God. We use God's wisdom and express God's love with God's help. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Wow. I am always touched by the great words of our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore. She just opens my heart wide. I'm Reverend Gary Kanye, and it's delightful to see you here in the sanctuary, and those of you in the Gratitude and Prosperity Room, and out there, wherever you are, hopefully resting in home or viewing us later on. Unity is a spiritual community that fosters personal transformation for healing, for wholeness, and for an intimate connection with God. We do this through affirmative prayer and meditation that opens us to realize our oneness with God. Now, we do honor all religious and spiritual traditions for the light shining through them, through every stained glass window, through every mosque dome or temple or cathedral or church tent is the very same light shining in us. And we call that light God. Now we know that what we experience is based on what we believe, on what we say. And when we say what we believe with gusto, it ignites a powerful force in the universe. So let's say this great truth with gusto together. There is only one presence, one power, active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. And so it is. We do have this safety protocol in place. Masks are required inside on Sunday service and for all our outside groups. One household per pew. So if you live together, share a pew together. If you don't, separate pews. No hugging, no handshaking. Non-vaccinated or not fully vaccinated people, please watch the service in the Gratitude and Prosperity Room. When you've got your full vaccine, you can come back in and join us with mask on. And as we do this safety protocol, it keeps us safe. And we're doing this with the advice of Emily Briggs and CDC recommendations, and that keeps us open. Thank you. Steve.
Good morning. I'm Steve Cleverly, one of your board members, and it is my pleasure, I forgot I need this, and my pleasure to share the daily word with you here in the sanctuary, in the Gratitude and Prosperity Room, and all y'all out there watching us virtually. And today's daily word is joy. Joy. And the affirmation for it is, I say yes to the joy that invites me in this moment. And if we can affirm that together, I say yes to the joy that invites me in this moment. Joy is the call of my heart. Whether I'm at work or at play, I bring a spirit of joyfulness to everything I do. More than a mood or an attitude, joy is part of me and mine to live and to share. Like all aspects of my divine identity, joy flowers in my consciousness when I hold joyful thoughts and feelings. I express my joy as the excitement of anticipation, fascination at a new discovery, deep satisfaction in a relationship, and the tranquil glow from communing with God in prayer. My joy is contagious, and I love to share in it. I have feelings of joy when I take part in a friend or family member's joyous moments, their celebrations and accomplishments. I feel quiet joy when I offer encouragement and even when I give comfort, grateful to share the care and love of God. And from 1 Thessalonians 5:16, that verse is, rejoice always. Can we go one more time with this affirmation together? I say yes to the joy that invites me in this moment. Namaste.
Beautiful. And now it's our congregational song, Give Me Oil in My Lamp. I see them on kids. Please stand if you're able and let's sing.
Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning, burning, burning. Give me oil in my lamp, I pray. Give me oil in my lamp, keep me burning, burning, burning. Keep me burning till the break of day. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King. Give me joy in my heart. Keep me singing, singing, singing. Give me joy in my heart, I pray. Give me joy in my heart. Keep me singing, singing, singing. Keep me singing till the break of day. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King. Give me love in my heart, keep me serving, serving, serving. Give me love in my heart, I pray. Give me love in my heart. Keep me serving, serving, serving. Keep me serving till the break of day. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King.
Woo! Ah, I love that song. It just gets the juices flowing. And here we are on this exciting journey through the Beatitudes. I am so excited about this, and no exception is today's talk. The Beatitudes, the power of humility. Now, this is our third Beatitude. And our master teacher, Jesus, in his life, he spoke Aramaic. And Aramaic is it's still a living language today. There's parts of the world in that area known as Persia and various names. They speak Aramaic. And so there are Aramaic scholars today that bring wisdom to understanding what did Jesus really say. And so we turn to the familiar. We turn to the Bible, and we look at Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Now, I don't know about you, but this used to baffle me because growing up in a Methodist church, I thought I had to be poor or broken or somehow less than in order to receive the earth, God. And that's not what this really says. Now, if we look at the Aramaic, blessed is to confer the energy of God upon. It's the activity and energy of God moving through us, conferring the energy upon, blessed. And meek really translates, rather than being meek, which in today's world, meek doesn't actually sound like a very good word. But if you look at it, it more translates as gentle or humble. So conferring the energy upon the humble, for they will inherit the earth, makes a lot more sense. Yes? It really is powerful. Now, I've been using heavily the wisdom of Emmett Fox from his incredible book, The Sermon on the Mount. And he says here, it is a combination of open-mindedness, faith in God, and the realization that the will of God for us is always something joyous and interesting and vital and much better than anything we could think of for ourselves. I think this is great wisdom, because if we look at humility, we look at being humble, it means that we're not attached to outside influence. We're not allowing our inner strength to be affected by anything outside of us. Do you see that? If we look at the great leader of Dalai Lama, one of the things, when I look at the Dalai Lama, I see a humble man. And that humbleness comes from this knowing this truth, that when I can be open-minded, when I can live in the faith of the God of our understanding, and that I can have this realization that the will of God is ever present and is there for ours to receive, to use. Use me, O God. It's so important that we realize that this teaching is fundamental. That's why I see that the Beatitudes is really comprises and synthesizes the entire Christian theology. And this is why I'm so excited to dig into it and chew on it for a while. Now, another author, she's got a wonderful book about the Beatitudes, Jennifer Kennedy Dean. And she says here, pride has in it the seeds of its own destruction. The meek have the strength to wait it out and to let God work. The meek have learned that pride is weakness and meekness is strength. Now, pride, it's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Pride is, it can give us the energy to go forward, but it has a price, because there's got to be the outcome that we've set for pride. And within that, it brings its own destruction. It brings about a cycle of life that we don't want to be part of. We want to awaken ourselves to be present to our strength. And we can do that with our gentleness, with our humbleness, with our willingness to stand firm in our belief and not be shaken by what anything the world is telling us. Not be shaken by anything anyone else is telling us. Which means you don't have to listen to a word I say. Because I don't have any more authority on this than you have with your truth counter in you. You know the truth. And that truth is helping build our strength. For there is great power in humility. Turning again to the wisdom of Emmett Fox, he says, this state of mind also includes a perfect willingness to allow this will of God to come about in whatever way divine wisdom considers to be best, rather than in some particular way that we have chosen for ourselves. The difference is my way or God's way. And I can tell you from the curriculums that I've learned in my life, the waking up that I've had, that when I direct myself by my ego, by trying to puff myself up by a counter, basically, when I came out of the box, when I was born, for the first 20 years of my life, my goal was to be perfect. Absolutely perfect in everything I did. And guess what happened? I'd be a good little boy, and then there'd be failure. And then there'd be self-flagellation because I wasn't perfect. So I'd get up all my energy again, and I'd go for being perfect. And it wasn't until I realized that the now moment is perfect for however I step into it. And I could direct my life into a seeming ego perfect, or I could just be and allow. And from that moment, I began that journey to embrace myself just the way I am. And then a whole bunch changed. Because then I began the spiritual journey of saying yes to God. And saying, what now, God? And finding that God was leading me in a way that I had never even dreamed. And I've found that God's way is always the gentler way. I can do it my way, but sometimes that's very painful. And that's why I am so excited about this journey with the Beatitudes, to awaken ourselves to the wisdom of the incredible teaching of our master teacher, Jesus. And I had the great joy of studying with the Aramaic scholar Neil Douglas Klotz, and he offers a different translation of Matthew 5:5. And here he says, aligned with the one are the humble, those submitted to God's will. They shall be gifted with the productivity of the earth. Wow. When we step into that God's will and we align with that guidance that comes through intuition, comes through meditation, comes through other people, comes through what we hear on the radio, or whatever. It comes in so many ways. And how do we be productive? How do we move past our problems, our diagnosis, our difficulties, the inequities, the injustice? And we know that to be sacred service. And so, as people who come to know that through our humility, that we are open to God's grace, what next? Next is to, as Tony Baines wrote in her book, Soul Mastery, in regards to this beatitude, those who understand sacred service at a state of being share their talents and time not to be seen, but for the glory of good for all. And we know this, don't we? Here in Unity, we know that sacred service, if we can be of service to others, if we can awaken the light for others, all of a sudden, our problems dissolve, they melt away. And it lifts up, putting others first. And this is why we are calling our event today Love in Action. Because when we're doing God's will, we are aligning with divine love. And when we share our gifts and our talents with others as prayer chaplains or board of directors or volunteers in the office or working with our youth or helping with maintenance or landscaping, whatever it is, those are ways for us to be present in humility, to just helping out from whatever our talent, our gift, our energy, our passion is. Because it's easy to give away what we already have. isn't it? And from there, we have a powerful way of being in the world, simply by understanding this great power of humility. So I'm going to ask you to consider this as a possibility. This week and next week, we'll have the Love in Action Sacred Service out here. But allow it to be a how-to, a put into practice, being humble and inheriting all that God is. And so that's the conclusion of our discussion today. And I'm grateful that you're here. Thank you. And now we'll take a moment in meditation. We'll allow ourselves to settle down, put everything aside as the Unity Singers bring us their music. And I have a poem that I'm going to use as part of our meditation by the wonderful Saint Teresa of Avila.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti
As we breathe easy and center into this now moment. Peace, be still. And we allow these words of Saint Teresa of Avila, her writing, Christ has no body. Christ has no body but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which he looks compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which he walks to do good. Yours are the hands with which he blesses all the world. Yours are the hands. Yours are the feet. Yours are the eyes. Yours are his body. Christ has no body now but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which he looks compassion on this world. Christ has no body now on earth but yours. These words help us to realize that in our humility, we find ourselves embracing the wonders of God. And we realize that being humble and gentle is a way of opening ourselves to this flow. Let's breathe in. And we may take this moment to ask ourselves, what is it that I can give? What is it that I can share? As we now take this time in the silence. It's in gratitude that we embrace our time in the silence, embracing that we can set aside everything anytime we choose and open our heart and embrace this now moment. And we can use any image like peace, love, joy, and come home right now. So let's take whatever we've received in this meditation, bring our awareness fully back into the room right now. You might wiggle your hands or wiggle your toes, roll your head, and when you're ready, open your eyes. And we'll say this meditation that goes with today's message. Together, embracing God's will, I act with vitality and strength. Again, embracing God's will, I act with vitality and strength. Embracing God's will, I act with vitality and strength. And so it is. We've come to this point in the service where we can share, we can give, and we want to place on our heart whatever it is we are going to give at this time. That can be in the form of a love offering or a tithe. It can also be in the form of your gratitude or your highest prayer for this community or what you've received today. And what we are going to do before we do our walk of abundance is we're going to set that intention of what we're going to give on our heart and say this offering affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Thank you, God. And for those of you online, you can put your smartphone up and you can do the QR code and you go right to that donate place. There's a donate button on the website and also our text to give. And right here in the room, if you have an envelope or the card, I'm electronic giver, we come forward, we place our offering, our love, our gratitude, our prayers into the copper bowl. And then from the wooden bowl, take an affirmation for yourself, for a loved one. Let's celebrate with the walk of abundance.
And as we give thanks for these gifts, be they in the shiny copper bowl or sent by electronics or mail or in the form of sacred service given from the heart, we give thanks and know that they serve this community and beyond, and we are grateful, and so it is. And our prayer box that's out in the foyer, those prayers that are in there, we pray over them all month and then send them on a sacred to Silent Unity. And we know that as humans, we forget the divine laws of abundance and prosperity and health and gratitude and peace and joy and whatever it is that has caused us to have certain fears. So we will pray over those prayers and help move them from based in fear to based in love in applying those divine laws. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Yes, today our prayer chaplain is our very own Susan Demeline. She will be up front here to serve you in prayer if you have a need, or you can call the office number and she will be happy to serve you by phone.
Thank you. World Day of Prayer, Unity's annual event, is coming up. It's amazing. It's Thursday, September 9th. This year's theme is All is Well with My Soul. And in the bulletin today, we started issuing the bulletin. It's there available to you. And within it, I'll use yours, there's information about the World Day of Prayer with a prayer slip. So list your names on that, drop it off in the prayer box or in the collection plate, and then we will pray over those every hour. Also, there's some information about the opening that's very exciting this year, and we'll be here open in the church for people to come in and pray, and then we're offering things every hour. The prayer chaplains are guiding the videos that we'll be playing, celebrating all is well with my soul. So look forward and mark it on your calendar.
Yes, Love in Action Sacred Service Fair. We are asking all of you to pray from your heart, think from your heart, give from your heart, to sign up and help others, either our youth and family ministry, hospitality, landscaping, office, and there are several more beyond that. We ask you to give very prayerful consideration.
And in your bulletin, there's a flyer that outlines some of the activities within each of the headings, so you can consider those. Also important, if you already serve on one of these teams, please sign up again. So this is where we clean the slate and we just get all the people who are going to be doing things, because you might be doing something and decide, heck, I'm going to go work with the youth now. Whatever it is, just sign up, and we've got computers out there with the form. You put your name, you put your phone number, your email, and then you just check off whatever you want to sign up for. Very easy. And now, our special music with Ron Bretsky and Kelly Bretsky, the Unity Singers, with Ron's song, Little People Like You and Me.
You may feel small, that you have no call, that what you do doesn't matter much at all. But I believe that we all have a chance to get up and be a part of the dance. Little people like you and me, little people like you and me, together we can do some big, big things. Little people like you and me. You don't have to move a mountain for the world to change. simple act of love can lead the way. Heaven on earth is in our hands, 'cause heaven is held in the heart of man. Little people like you and me, little people like you and me, together we can do some big, big things. Little people like you and me, little people like you and me, little people like you and me, together we can do some big, big things. Together we can do some big, big things. Together we can do some big, big things. Little people like you and me. With a gentle touch and a quiet voice, an act of goodness makes no noise. The kingdom is built one good deed at a time. It's about loving, it's about life. Little people like you and me, little people like you and me, together we can do some big, big things. Little people like you and me, little people like you and me, little people like you and me, together we can do some big, big things. Together we can do some big, big things. Together we can do some big, big things. Little people like you and me, little people like you and me, we can do some big, big things.
Thank you, Ron. We are so blessed with the Unity Singers. Before we close with the prayer protection song, we did have one other announcement, and that is Leslie Woods and her wonderful team of volunteers have come back and bringing us the bulletin and having it. And we always not only want to have you take home something in your heart, we want you to take home something in your hands. We are asking, though, that you will return the cover in the thinking of recycling. You're welcome to take one home if there's something on there that you want, but if it's going to end up eventually going in the trash, let's recycle it here. But you're welcome to take it home if you can use it. And at that, if we can ask you to stand if you're comfortable, we will close with the Prayer for Protection song.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Beautiful. I'm so grateful that you joined us here in the sanctuary, and those of you online, and take what you've received today and make this day a day of gratitude and love. Blessings to all. Namaste. And now for